Reporter Kenneth. How are you
Oh,
doing?
hi, Reporter Lochana.
Hi. You're excited about this project, right? I mean, we're assigned on this special task to find out about Hemas FMCG Universe's performances. It's amazing, right?
I am actually quite excited because I heard that they have done a lot of amazing things. Here, before all of that,
Okay,
I
what
was
you're doing?
just
I saw
trying.
you're ordering something.
Yes, I was trying to order the food. I am in the mood for pizza. What do you think?
I was in the mood for a burger though. But that's fine. Let's
No,
just
I
go for
haven't
it.
had pizza in a long time, so I'm
Okay,
gonna order
fine,
some
fine.
pizza. Are you okay with chicken?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just
Right.
order.
Yeah, because it has to come also, no, so I'll just.
There's an offer also, no?
Yeah,
Let's go for that.
yes.
Resolution.
Okay.
Starting with that.
Oh, okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Reporter Lochana.
And I am Reporter Kenneth.
We're reporting to you live from the Da Vinci of Hemas house, and today both of us have been assigned on this special task to evaluate the performance of these superheroes who are in this Hemas FMCG universe.
We heard that they have done a lot of amazing things, and it's better seen than heard, isn't it?
Yes, correct. So let's have a quick recap on what the both of us were able to find out about this Hemas FMCG universe.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You could beat the world, you could beat the war. You could talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you go find yourself.
Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name. Cause you burn with the burst flame, and the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the wall to the Hall of Fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile, you can walk straight through hell with a smile.
You could be the hero, you could get the gold. Breaking all the records they thought never could be broke.
Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. Are you ever gonna know if you never even try?
Do it for your country, do it for your name.
Cause there's gonna be a day when you're standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name. Cause you burn with the burst flame, and the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be a champion, be a champion, be a champion, be a champion. The walls of the Hall of Fame. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name. Cause you burn with the burst flame, and the world's gonna know your name.
I think that was definitely an amazing performance by all these superheroes identified in this Hemas FMCG universe. I'm gonna drift away a little bit from what we actually saw. This is just a quick reminder for all of you to send all your photos of what you've ordered. Both of us actually received our pizza that we ordered, and we're sending the photo to you guys. So don't forget to share the photo that you guys took. So let's get back to the topic.
Yes, Lochana. So we saw some pretty amazing things that our teams have been doing in the past 6 months. So in order for us to do these things, Lochana, it's not an easy task. While we need committed teams, passionate teams, we also should have someone to guide us through all of this. Lochana?
Yes, of course. And we identified one such person who is actually driving this amazing performance in the Hemas FMCG universe. So this is us connecting with our managing director, Mr. Shriyant De Silva Vijayaratna, live from our headquarters. So Mr. Shriyant De Silva Vijayaratna, this invitation is for you.
Thank you. So it's great to be here. I know it's a lonely feeling to be all alone in your homes, connecting up, but that's for the people who are working behind a laptop or a screen, right? When we look at the people who are out in the field, on the floor, there's no question of sitting at home and saying, I want to work from home. You have to get out every day. So every day there are very, very passionate people right now doing what they do so that we can have this conversation. So I want to start off by thanking the HR team and all these people who have put this show together today. This is us coming together, and it's my pleasure. I've been looking forward to talking to the team. Pity we couldn't do it in person, but anyway, here we go. So let's look back. Let's get on screen, right? And so we'll start with, so this is the conversation we have every now and then. And last time I promised that, we'll try to give you updates frequently whenever we can on the business. Before we start, let's talk about the main topic, right? COVID. Let's first talk COVID, right? Because this is a tough one, right? Everybody today is tired, struggling, worried. There's a lot of stress, right? Dealing with COVID is not easy. It's just not easy. And then the HR teams, the logistic teams, the managers, factory, every day you wake up wondering, will there be a problem today? Are we in control today? So how do you keep the energy, the safety, all of that going day in, day out? That's a very special skill. So let me start with a few reminders. I just want to make sure that everybody understands that safety is our number one priority. Number one. No question. No risk. The other day I was told about a factory where, one person came into work and they had a temperature, they were sent back. A couple of days later, after some Panadol, the person came back to work, and it resulted a few days later in a huge number of people being infected. So with COVID, every person is like the managing director of the company. The influence you can have on keeping Hemas manufacturing running is tremendous. Any one person can stop our entire company. So today we will only win if we are a team. If we come together as a team, if we think of each other, if we hold ourselves responsible for each other. So every manager, every responsible person, my first ask is, don't risk your people. Make sure we take care of them. And if by any chance somebody gets some fever or something, you have to stay home, please stay home. We will make sure that even if it means you get your salary, overtime, all of that, we should do that. Because we want you to be safe, we want the company to be safe, right? So it's a big responsibility on all of us, but that's the world we are going to live in. So this time, now with COVID, this is not a question of running and hiding away till COVID goes away. This time it's a question of a dance with COVID. We need to figure out how to partner COVID and work and thrive in an environment which is surrounded by COVID. There is no going back, and there is no sitting on the sideline saying it's COVID. But we will take the utmost precautions and make sure we look after all our teams in a very, very responsible manner. So stay safe, be careful, wear your mask, sanitize regularly, take all the precautions, because this is a long-term journey. We have a lot more to run, and last time we saw that our competitors ran much harder than we did during COVID, which is why we lost some share and they won like we discussed last time. Right. With that, let's get back to the business. Right. What did I tell you last time? Last time I said, look, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But it means that we had to work hard. We had to get ready to fight it out. We had to think about the long term and run this journey. Right? I said, if we do all this together, we can move forward. Today, we have come that journey. Right? And we'll talk about that. Then I said, this year there are a couple of priorities that I'm chasing, that all of us are chasing, the leadership team, the business, all of that. We said, firstly, we are going to be fighting for market share. This is not about just making some margin. This is about winning relative to somebody else. You don't win if you're running in isolation. You're winning against competition. So this is share. Second one is profit. We don't bank percentages. We don't bank margins. We bank profits, rupees, cents. So profit is the name of the game. We are here to make sure we grow our profitability. The third one I said was, in a moment of crisis, in a business environment like this, tough time, we need to optimize cash, which we did. And the fourth one was that it was a continuous journey of improving productivity. So these were the four that we said we are going to focus on this year. Now I want to show you very quickly, we spoke of a couple of priorities, and I want to show you how I think we are tracking on those priorities. Right? Let's look at this. We've had July, August, September have been 3 amazing months. Phenomenal. Right? I want to again and again, however much I thank you, it's not enough, but I want to congratulate everyone again and thank you for the best ever quarter that this company has had. Phenomenal. Right? 3 months, we broke every possible record, and that was great. So what does that mean? From a profit perspective, I'm giving it a green. Right? We've done a good job, very good job, to grow that profitability. We've got a good progress on cash. Right? We've made sure we protect our cash, and that's looking very solid. Then we've had some amazing new product developments. We launched under very tough conditions. We had to do away with our old format of big launches, but I think we found a more effective, faster way to launch, because as we go forward, we are going to be doing a lot more in launching new products quicker and faster. So I give 3 greens. Now, productivity, we are improving certainly. I've seen some very good movement on that side. We are doing more with less. The teams are giving us more. Sales is giving us more. Everybody is doing a great job. But there is a bit more room that we need to go. So we are on the journey. I'm happy with where we are. I'll give it an yellow and say we are still not there yet. Right? Cost saving. Again, some of the teams, some of the areas we've done some good work. But there's a bit more work to be done. That is work in progress, but a good start. Where I'm going to call out red is on market share. Right? On share, our job is not done. If anything, we are just getting started. We have seen some good momentum in a couple of our main products. Toothpaste, Clogard, that whole area, Baby Sherami. So a couple of products are starting to move the needle. But in a couple of others, we are struggling. Right? Our great sales haven't meant that we've got market share momentum, which means our competitors are doing also great work. In a couple of cases, our competitors in some brands are doing better work than we are. And that is something we need to be conscious about, careful about. So, great job all up, but it doesn't mean that in all our businesses we are doing well. There are a couple of businesses that certainly need a lot more sales focus. I need the marketing teams to revamp their games, and I need to see those shares moving in the right direction a bit faster, quicker in some of those. So a mixed bag on shares, but all in all still red. Work to be done, a fight to be fought. Having said that, the team is fighting a phenomenal battle, right? Last month, which we just finished last week, 1.7 billion. That's a big B, right? This is the first time in the history of this company that we've broken this number. Phenomenal, right? Everybody, if we were in a room, we should be screaming and shouting and jumping up, because this is an amazing number, right? This number, mind you, is despite, an entire large part of the western part of this country being in lockdown, a number of distributors and some towns and people in quarantine, all of that. And we still deliver this number. So this is why I think this team is just getting started, right? So if we had a rock band or something, I'll play Start Me Up or something, right? And we'll get going from there. But look at this. 4 months in a row, we have exceeded 1.5 billion. And 1.5 billion was like really out of this world once upon a time. 4 months in a row. Every possible record we have broken, right? Sales record, profit margin record, cash, you name it, right? But one of the reasons also is that we did a good job in managing cost. That is why when the sales went up a certain proportion, the profits went up much, much better. So this is the magic in balancing your business and your cost, right? The teams did good work with their supply management, keeping everything under control, collecting our money, keeping the cash cycles tight. So all of that gave us a very good cash flow situation, and finally very interesting aggressive new product launches. As many of you would have seen, normally we used to take quite a bit of time to release some stuff into the market, but now we are releasing very, very fast, close together. So we are not going to wait for another product to settle. It's going to be new, new, new. If you take a step back and look at all of this, what's behind it? What's the story? Here's the answer. It's all about people. This conversation is all about people, right? The magic that we are experiencing is not something where we brought some fantastic new machinery, or we've got a new technology, or 25 new businesses coming in, or we've acquired something. No. Same business, same people. So this is a people conversation, and these days I am inspired by the kind of stories I'm hearing. It's just simply awesome, right? And these are not stories where people are competing for awards or stuff like that, right? Later on today, we are going to be recognizing number of different people with awards. I mean, you get the Spark Awards. We are going to have, the BCP, the teams who worked on those are going to get recognized. We have the amazing work done by the teams who put together the quality awards. Number of people that we thought fittingly we should recognize. But I'm going to talk to you on stories which is not about recognition. I've picked up a few things just from emails, from conversations, from what people are saying, and the stories are just scarily inspiring. So every day these days when I read my emails, while there's a crisis, there's a decision, there's some priority, I also see stories like this, right? Read this, right? This is Afraz talking about, Christopher in Maldives and the phenomenal work he's doing all alone there to drive our business. Safraz is describing someone who's gone out there single-heartedly driving our business. He finally sends his pregnant wife back to Sri Lanka, sends the team back to Sri Lanka, the others, and decides to stay back to continue the battle. His distributor has now got COVID, and he's still out there. Christopher, I know you're hopefully online, and I just want to say thank you. You inspire us. Amazing. Let me talk to you about something else. This is in a email which is going up and down, and Sumit talking about what's happening in the distribution side. These days, some days the distribution Valisara teams, people are working like till 12, 1, 2 in the morning. They are delivering quantities of lorries and metric tons which you normally do in a week, right? The up and down, the pressure, because the sales teams want it. It's curfew. We want to get the stock out there very quickly before the curfew hits, this, that, all of that. And these guys just said, turn it on, baby, we'll do it. Phenomenal. And sometimes some of the guys are stuck with COVID, they are under restrictions, all of that. And still these teams are betting on and on, right? Here's another one. Nimal is in the room here. So Nimal is describing somewhere around some of the work and some of the daily stress that the HR teams and people have to take on in how we are trying to manage this. Every day there are curfew passes, there's a crisis, you have to navigate people, you have to look at shifts, you have to look at protection. My God. Most people will roll over and die, right? And number of these guys at the factory, at head office, various people are just putting a phenomenal effort. Now mind you, like I said, these conversations are not about awards. This is not a write-up written for a award entry or something. This is just what happens every day, right? Farshad talking about, how for about 5-6 months in a row, the North and East has been doing their numbers day in, day out, and the amazing passion that they are going to show to grow the business. Azad, I think on this side, is talking about, hey, here are the challenges we are facing in our area, and we are still going to make it, right? I can go on and on talking about more sales effort. This morning I saw another note from Dinesh around how the MT team had, hit record after record, right? Now my problem is that some people might feel very upset if I don't call them out. But in this case, I'm not too worried, because I don't think this is about recognition. This is about doing phenomenal work. And I know there are multiple people out there who are doing great stuff. Nobody will mind if we call out only some, because every region is doing some fantastic stuff. I mean, Manjula's entire team was stuck, right? But he still kept the morale going. And keeping the team going in a very tough COVID environment. Shahid, who got COVID, is recovering, he's kind of easing back. So that's good to hear, right? But, this is an ongoing journey. Here's some more. I just picked up a few more, right? This is, I think, Lucius talking about, how the PHIs came and, their inspection and how they were happy with the factory, what they wanted to improve. But look at the amount of effort which goes into getting our PHIs to be comfortable with the work we do so that we don't suddenly face a crisis, right? Again, the amount of grassroots work going in to keep those PHIs engaged and the community engaged and all, every day. You can't drop the ball. You can't risk a shutdown. We have only one main factory which we have to protect at all costs. We cannot risk that going down. And the teams are doing it day in, day out, right? 2-3 days ago, I heard about this instance. Jagat and them, right? Supply chain. Going all the way deep south just to make sure that we get ethanol, right? Coming back in the early hours of the morning, passing 15 checkpoints, just to make sure that our supply chain is running day in, day out. Now, where do you draw a line? Where do I stop? Right? I have to stop at some point because today is a limited conversation. But I just want to say that we are exceptionally grateful. We humbly, the entire leadership, thanks all of you for the phenomenal work you're doing every day. I can't thank you enough, because without that, it's very easy to say, oh my God, this is risky, we are tired, we are stressed, and stay at home. Nobody is doing that today. Nobody in the entire team, every function. I haven't pulled examples from every function, let's say finance, something else, because this was not about keeping everybody happy. It's not to say that we don't recognize them. Every day, I know some days, lockdown days, finance people have to come because the bills need to get paid. There's stuff getting cleared in the warehouses, ports every day. So while we maybe sleep, rest, or work from home, there are others who are keeping these engines running. So for each and every one of you, my sincere thanks. So earlier this week, some money hit your accounts, right? And I'm very glad that we were able to do that. Took some work. The entire leadership was very committed behind this, and I want to thank them all for their help in this. This is the least of things we could do, but this was also a way of saying a very special thank you, and we didn't discriminate within who did what or how much. It was simply that we are all going on a journey as a team. We will win as a team. So, lots has been going on these last few months since we spoke, right? We've had the new launches. We've had a number of these new initiatives. Of course, Corona has come and, strongly challenged us, but we are determined, right? We've made some changes in the organization to get ourselves ready for the future, right? About 50 of us got together and spent some time looking at the competitive environment we deal with and what changes we want to bring in our strategy and this and that. And most recently, a whole bunch of us got together and started working to look at the growth plans. I'll come back to that. I'll talk a little bit about the growth plans. But first, let's give somebody the due place. Right? When you're in a battle, one of the things you should understand and do is respect your enemy. Respect your competition. And this is a competitor that you have to respect, Kalin. Right? They've beaten your pants. No question. No product that we launched was able to do this or create this kind of momentum in a single year. So give the brand the respect it deserves. We sometimes want to romanticize the Unilevers or the Hemas and say these are the brands, but here is an unknown brand from an unknown company, came with an unexpected strategy and beat the hell out of everyone. So I have nothing but respect for this company, and that is why we need to beat them, because they need to be brought down. If not, we are going to have a serious problem. So while we do all this in terms of our strategy, right now I'm asking everyone to take a hard look at this next slide, right? That is the kind of progress that Kalin had in a year. Unbelievable. Nothing that this company did could stop them. So if ever we want to see we are great, we are good, all of that, that's important. But don't confuse that with when you see yourself on the wrong side of a curve. So I want every single person in this company, every sales guy, everybody who has anything to do with the product or the customer to understand that your number one priority when you go out into the field is to make sure that we are neutralizing kaolin in every single possible manner. If it's on a pack size, on a shelf, on a positioning with the consumer, anything, and there's an entire set of actions that we have also put together, and I'm hopeful that together as a team we can change this curve, because firstly it's impacting one of our strongest, most loved brands, Velvet, but it's also spreading a lot of danger on the other franchises, other brands for Hemas. So we have a collective job to do. I said we'll talk about growth. Now, this lady at the bottom, all of you know, even though there is a mask, right? When Kasturi came, she gave us a big challenge and said, look at the business, she said, and she showed everybody a number of interesting slides to show that actually our business had been on serious decline for the last 3-4 years. And she said, look at this. And she said, now I want to see how we can get more from the business. I'm looking at how to get 2x and 3x out of the business, which means in 2 years from now, 2.5 actually, she said, I want to see your business double and your profit triple. Right? And Kasturi is somebody who's very close to the field, so she's run the business. This is Kasturi and myself in Hangwell a couple of weeks ago. So she's somebody who's out in the field, close to customers, all of that, and she means business. And she wants us to come on a journey with her. So what we did is we built a plan and we drove a couple of initiatives across the company to build up this plan. So if we can move back to the slide, right? We built a bottom-up plan which said that if we are at a certain level of business today, we'd like to be a little over 2x. So if you are at 10 today, you want to be 30 at the end of FY22. So 2.5 years from now, we want to be little more than 2x times our current revenue. Operating profit, the asking rate was 3x. You'll be amazed that the teams were able to put a plan together which was 4x. And that's the plan that we are going to, that's the kind of spirit that we are seeing in the business today. It doesn't need to come where I'm going and demanding something. Today I'm saying, okay guys, that's enough. Let's at least make sure we do this plan. We don't need more, this is good enough. It's a very different mindset, and I'm really proud of the teams who are putting that together, right? We wanted 10% of revenues to come from new products. We had single-digit NPDs so far, right? And what are the market shares we want to exit on? So these were the kind of things. So the marketing teams did a whole bunch of work. And as we go on, you'll hear each of you, when we are ready to share more and more, we'll talk about, you know, some of the brands that we are going to explode with more new products and variants and things like that. Then there are brands that we will need to consolidate. There are cases where we need to find the cost reduction to make the businesses more profitable because they are not tracking well enough. So there's no point in spending more money if the business is really not starting to make money for us. In other cases, there are new segments that we are going to kind of go after, bring in new propositions to chase them, right? And then we have some of these smaller brands that we haven't really been loving enough. The Goyas, the fragrances, all of that. So we are going to do a lot of work behind those brands now to make sure that we up the game. And finally, we have a lot of interesting new channels that so far Hemas has never looked at. There's a huge amount of consumption happening in the institutional space, in the salon channel, in all of that. So we are going to start to embrace a wider scope of how we go about the business, right? Expect that we will use a lot of these new levers, different forms of improved packaging on the PR, on the digital side, move with an entire sense of purpose after our business. In that context, there will be businesses that we will want to scale now rapidly because we've got to the level that we are on a phenomenal platform and we grow those nationally very fast into new areas, new categories. There are businesses which are solid, the bedrock, and we should start to strengthen them. While there are a number of businesses that we have to nurture very carefully, right? Sometimes in the same brand you might have different products at these three levels. So you're going to see an entire set of strategies starting to come out to touch on these. On the modernization side, Chandana and the team, they've been doing some great work because it's one thing to want to fly, but it's a different thing if we are not having the machinery we need, the vehicles we need on which to take off. So in parallel are the aspirations of trying to have a very new, different kind of manufacturing engine, more modern, automated, information ready, all kinds of things. So there's another whole set of plans. New products, right? We are talking of getting to 15-20% of our business coming from new products, right? So this is not a time that we are going to be sitting back saying we will launch a new product every quarter and spend time rejoicing about it. No, we are just going to come out with product after product after product. So which means we need to invest, we need to do stuff here, and then balance those with the entire people conversation. Because our people are very, very important. So the entire group has done quite a bit of work on saying where do we want to get people going, how do we reinvest in their skills, how do we give them a new age learning experience, what is the kind of way we want to grow their careers, how do we make Hemas one of the most attractive places for employment, how do we make Hemas sexy to work at, right? How do we make it a place that people say is not just a nice, safe, comfortable, good environment, but oh, that's a cool environment. That's a place I will learn. That's a place where things happen. There's a buzz. There's innovation. There's excitement. There's challenge. There's pressure. There is diversity. Lots of things we want to bring in. We have been sitting on the sidelines of this topic, and as we move forward, we will be embracing this a lot more. I want this company to be at the forefront of the environmental side when it comes to our products, when it comes to our processes. So you're going to hear a lot more, and the R&D and marketing teams and procurement teams are going to be challenged very, very hard to say, hey, how do we make sure that we are getting the right stuff here, which is the right balance of the environment. We don't want to change because there is a rule or legislation. We want to change because that's our purpose. That's what we believe in. Healthful living. We are going to bring that to life in all our brands and in everything we do. Right? Something close to my heart, digital. All right, we will do work around the entire digital ecosystem in this company. And there'll be different things that each of you will start to experience. I don't want to get into too many details. This is more on the digital life cycle and stuff that we'll see there, right? But already, as you know, we've just launched this one, right? So that is for some of you, many of you who may have seen it, one of the coolest things that you could get your hands on, because that at a click or two can tell you who sold what, when, how long ago, how does it compare with last year by product, by region, by reach, by salesperson, by channel. So when we bring these powerful tools into the business, it starts unlocking an entirely new set of insight. And I want each of you to start learning how to use this knowledge as marketeers, as salespeople, as operations people. Now the knowledge is at your disposal. Figure out how you are going to use it well to grow our business. So, on a closing note, right, last time I said I think we can chase over 1.4 billion of profit this year and probably around a 15 billion turnover, right? And this was after we saw what performance came in July and how we were going to be able to scale that up, right? Today, after we've done that 4 times in a row, I think we as a leadership team probably say that we are more comfortable saying that we can probably get you the bonus, right? And end of the day, that's what we also all want to strive. This has to be a win-win conversation, and I'm very fortunate to have a leadership team who's driving this journey along with me. So I'm really blessed to have got into this team. I want to thank you in closing for working with me. It's been a new pace, I know, new style, new ways of working. Not that easy for everyone to adjust, but I think looking back at the last 6-7 months, I've found a number of people who've been phenomenally adjusting their ways and styles and methods so that we can collectively all win in the market, right? So I want to wish you all the best as we head into this next quarter. We're off to a phenomenal start, but we've just started November. So October is yesterday's news, right? And we start again. I want to wish you good luck for November. Let's make sure we rock and roll this month as well. And I'm sure when we next meet 2-3 months down the line in a forum like this again, I'll be able to share more news, more updates. By then you'll have had more new products in the market, and we'll be having more exciting conversations about the future. So with that, thank you very much again, and we'll get on with the show. I'll start taking some questions now. Right. Okay, so I have a few questions. Let's start with, there were some questions which came in early, right? 2-3 questions I can kind of club together, right? Why do we focus on mass market products? There are small players who are dominating niches and it's profitable. And there's another question linked to some extent with that. Are we creating too many Me Too products in the strategy? Are we afraid of innovating and introducing new products and new segments, right? There's another part to that saying, is our R&D facility strong enough to bring in these new products? And linked with that is also, do we have any future plans for going for premium products? So I'm going to take all 4 questions into one. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this topic, right? So firstly, I think Hemas is, we are not a niche player. When I say we are not a niche player, we are not like a mom and pop store that somebody can launch a new product which can go into 500 outlets and make a bit of money. That's not what Hemas does. So when we talk niche, it has to be if it's a sizable niche in the market. But this question is spot on. There are a number of niche players who have come and taken away sizable chunks of existing business landscape. And if we are not careful, people will bite off big chunks and slice up the market. And that's not something Hemas can afford to see. Right? These days I'm putting a strategy together with the team on our product roadmap as we go forward. And one of the big conversations in that is, where do we take the premiumization conversation? what are the products we bring into premiumization, and how do we bring in premium propositions. Premium propositions doesn't mean that you have to operate at the highest end of the spectrum. If you have something in the lowest end of the spectrum, introducing a variant which is one step higher than that is a premiumization of that proposition. So when we talk premiumization, don't only think of these very high-end expensive products. There's a whole range of topics that we will try to cover as we go along in our business in the journey towards premiumization, right? And that's an active focus that I will make sure we bring in. Now the question is, can our R&D team do this? Now I'm going to break their hearts by saying no, right? As in, I'm not saying that they can't do it, but I'm saying we as a company have not invested enough in this area to expect the cutting edge R&D to come out of this company. Don't forget, I came from a companies which thrive on innovation. The tech companies, the software companies, all these companies, they live because of their innovation. A very simple way to look at that is when you analyze their P&Ls, you can see what is the percentage of money which goes into R&D and things like that. And immediately you can see which companies are seriously investing in R&D. Right? We have not done that. So our model will have to be a mix of partner-led innovation, that we work with partners, we work with different players, suppliers, all of that, and bring in innovation into the company through the work they have done, and we bring in some components of innovation and new product development through the R&D work we are doing. But this company is not geared to deliver all our needs from the small team that we have, and it's unfair to expect them to deliver all our needs. If you look at the specialization, right, we are into soaps, toothpaste, laundry, this, that, a number of businesses. Do you know how much of specialization is needed to make a cutting edge R&D breakthrough in any one of those businesses? So if the R&D team is only the small team that we have, it's difficult for them to become specialists. They have to be generalists with maybe small bunches of specialization. So while I like what we are starting to do now with the team, and there is more interesting stuff coming out these days, if the question is, can it be the whole answer to our game plan going forward? No. There will be a mix. Right. There's a question for me, I'll take that later. Right. Will hot seating be implemented soon? So that's more for head office. I would think yes. That's something we should look at, because COVID is certainly creating a lot of different ways to work, lot of different ways to engage both customers as well as run our business. And for, let's say, some of us in tech and other industries, this is like old stuff, right? We were doing hot seating 10, 15 years ago, but thanks to COVID now it has become like this hot topic now. I would encourage more people to embrace technology as they work. You'll find that you have a much better work balance also. Somebody is asking me, how does Sriyan manage so much of time to do all this stuff? Part of the answer is in technology, right? Learn to embrace technology, learn to make sure that you have priorities, and you need to balance those. So whoever who wants to know, I think this is something you can always talk to me on a one-on-one level if you want some tips. But one of the things I did commit to a small group is that I'll do a session on time management one day. So maybe we can put that online. Anybody who wants to log in, you can log in, because that knowledge is, it's not magic, just takes some discipline to do. Let's go more about the business, right? as a company grows in revenue profit, how will the teams benefit with increments, bonuses? However, we really appreciate the special incentive we received yesterday. Thank you very much. Right? That should answer your question, because personally, I think that is something that we must keep our eyes on as we go along. As leaders, our job should be to make sure that you thrive and grow as the business grows. And all of you, all of us have aspirations, right? So in the same way that, the bonus, the little incentives and all these things add up, as our business grows, you can be very sure that this leadership team will be knocking on the door of the Hemas group and saying, what's in it for our team, right? As it is, the leadership team might tell you that when we had the growth plan, we also started the bonus conversation in parallel. I said, okay, if we are going there, what's the compensation plan? And that's been a parallel conversation with Kasturi and all of them as you go forward. So this is a leap of faith you'll have to take. You'll have to run first to see whether anything happens, but hopefully you're starting to get excited by what has started to happen. Right. Hemas as a group has done a lot in terms of charity, building hospitals, blah blah. But have we given enough cover for outdoor, indoor medical expenses? Right. Sometimes we need to take care of our own employees rather than doing charity. Now, my answer to that you may not like, but I have to say it doesn't work that way. Right? You can do all you want for your employees. It doesn't mean you're fulfilling your social obligations. So this is not an either or conversation. It is not about doing only for the community, neither is it doing only for the staff. You have to balance both. Right? Now, I frankly don't know what the coverage levels are of medical cover and this and that and all of that, but what I can say is, don't forget where we started that growth plan conversation that Kasturi mentioned. The last 3-4 years, our profitability has been going down. Our profit margins have been going down, our profits have been going down. So that's a tough environment in which we as employees can be asking for more, because the shareholders are not getting more. But in environment the way we are running now, I think we have enough platform on which to build these programs and improve on them. So we'll take this point on board. We'll try to look at it and see how we can increase employee welfare in general, not about just a medical scheme or not or something, but general investment towards health and well-being, just so that we all go on a parallel conversation. But like I said, don't forget that it's not either or. It's not only employees, it's not only community. A company needs both. Any update on the refurbishment of the 4th and 5th floor with technology? I wish I had more progress. Honestly, with COVID, it has been a bit challenging, right? So there's some work we do want to do on these floors, but right now, trying to get people and to do this seamlessly at the same time hasn't been easy. We have some plans. Let's see how fast we can execute some of them, right? We are an aggressive future ahead. How do we keep the energy going? Now, this is a good question. How do you keep the energy going? Right? And this is something that you have to look outwards as well as inwards. Some of this starts with saying, what is your source of energy? Some people draw energy from outside, from others, from the environment. Other people draw energy from within. from themselves. Whatever is happening, these people have the ability to get up and say, we are going, we are fighting, we are moving, right? They don't need everybody in the environment to be positive. They are positive. One thing I can tell you is, in a COVID environment, you're going to need the second style of energy generation more than the first. These are two different kinds of people. We draw energy from outside or from within, but I can sense that with COVID, with more working from home and all of that, it's not that easy to draw energy from a room full of people, because you're sitting at home, you're sitting on a laptop, you're sitting behind a desk, right? So you will have to generate your own energy. As a team, as a company, as a leadership, we will certainly try to do more activities, fun things. I hope many of you got some energy by ordering yourself some nice food today, right? So we will do fun things wherever we can and invest in these things, but this will be I think we'll have to take it on the run, because unlike in the past, we can't predict what this environment is going to be, right? How's the progress of Hemas, Bangladesh, Nepal, India business? Any good practices, right? So this is something we are working on, very honestly, because as you know, I don't think we were getting enough synergy between the two teams in the recent past 2-3 years, and this is something we are now starting to see, what we can learn from each other and where we can contribute to each other. So unfortunately, I mean, both markets are launching some interesting stuff, but there is also some challenges. Bangladesh, as we know, COVID is pretty tough, right? It's fairly rampant, and India is also having its entire set of challenges, which means, for example, I can't go to Bangladesh. In my old role, when I was in Microsoft, I was looking after a couple of markets in the region. So at least once a month I was in Bangladesh, and I would meet the teams and meet the customers. I used to look forward to that. Right now with COVID, that's not going to happen for a while. So we have to find different ways of working, coming together, and that's a journey that we'll have to embark on as we go on, right? Have we done a salary survey? If so, what are the findings? Not to my knowledge, but what I can say is, over the years, whatever the salary surveys may say, if you do an internal survey, you'll never get a high satisfaction rating on salaries, right? So it's never enough. It's never enough, because we always find ways to want more, and that's human nature. So our job really has to be to try to keep your earnings going up. How do you keep your earnings going up? The way to keep earnings going up is to go back to that first yellow star I had and make that green, which is increase productivity. When I came into the company, I looked at a graph which showed the last 3 years, 4 years, where the productivity per person, the profit per person, these were all moving in the other direction. So then what happens? It becomes more difficult to want to pay an individual person a lot more money. But if you are keeping the productivity going up, then per person it's easier to take a disproportionate salary hike and justify it, saying, we are still getting better at productivity, therefore let's increase more. So I think part of the answers can be in salary surveys and things, but I think the bigger answer is, let's get the productivity conversation going properly, and with that, it's up to us in the leadership team to make sure that the team is getting well cared for. Right. I think we are coming close to the end of the questions which have come so far. There was 2 questions which I'm going to probably ask you to direct towards quality assurance, which was on the quality of diapers and couple of technical things like that on diapers. I think that's a question better addressed directly to Dimuthu or somebody in the quality team or something like that. It's probably not something that is worthwhile for the broader group. So let's see, are we done with the questions? One more, okay. We still have some exciting stuff ahead. Lochana's hair is going blue by the minute. So let me wind up quickly now. One or two last questions and then we get on with the next exciting segment of the program. Okay, last one maybe, right? In this environment, we need to develop a new set of skills, more creativity, different ways of thinking and doing. How will this company facilitate this? Right. So I think I partially touched on this when we put up that slide on the people journey that we are going to take, and part of that is some work around the new forms of working, thinking, agile, new product development, the faster routes to market, this and that, the use of technology, and the way in which we structure teams, right? So I think there's a whole bunch of things that we will have to do, which is we'll have to unlock processes, right? There are some processes that we have in the company which will inhibit fast work and creativity. We have to change those. Some of us as individuals have to change because we are stuck in the past with past ways of working. Just because something was successful once upon a time may not mean that it is successful today, and sometimes even if it is successful today, it may not mean that is a success factor for tomorrow, right? So Hemas, I think as a company, as FMCG team, we will have to dial up the pace, dial up the speed of change, dial up the whole ecosystem in the culture, in the way we work and all of that. And for that there are training infusions we'll have to make, behavioral changes we have to do, and process changes we need to make. So we'll probably have to do all of those as we go along. All right, so with that, let me hand you to these wonderful reporters. Let me hand you over to Kenny and Lochana back again. And thanks to all those people who sent these exciting questions. And if there's anything, we're only a phone call away. And the leadership team also has access to pretty much everything that we do, because today we are doing them all together as a team. So you can ask me, but you can also ask your respective LT members who are very well informed about a lot of this. And together we will go on this exciting new journey. Over to you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rian. So we saw some amazing things that has happened in the last several months in our company, and we also saw how we are going to go ahead in the next several years. Of course, we are also very excited to see how the company is going to progress in the next few years. So before going there, I think, Lochana, we need to say how we are going to proceed in today's schedule. Over to you.
So we have identified the sparks and the special mentions. So we will be evaluating those and awarding the awards. With the current situation, I know it's a new way of holding an award ceremony. So how it would work is, you guys will receive, the Spark Award winners will receive a voucher and the hamper from Arpico, which will be delivered to you by this Friday. Also, the Spark Award will be left on your workstation, so whenever you are safe and able to come to work, please feel free to collect it from your desk. So that will be placed by tomorrow morning. So we will move on to the Spark Award mentions.
Yes, I think we can move on to the Spark Award mentions. So the first Spark Award is actually for someone from the sales team. So you all know that the outlet coverage or the outlet reach is not an easy task when it comes to the sales force. So out in the market, it's not an easy task to definitely achieve these things. So this individual was assigned to lead an ambitious plan of expanding our direct coverage to 10,000 additional outlets within a quarter without deploying any external resources. Despite the challenges in recovering sales and distribution after the lockdown, the team has managed to capture and incorporate 10,494 additional outlets during the period of June to August. This has also taken our outlet coverage, our direct coverage, to nearly 79,000. This recognition is for an individual who is driven and who has coordinated and instrumental in making this happen within such a tight timeline in difficult circumstances. This Spark Award goes to Krishanta Gunaratna.
During the Easter and COVID situations, it's undoubtedly one of the two major setbacks hitting us in consecutive years, which actually left our business with varying levels of impacts across the regions. But the teams have shown strong resilience and turned the situation around over the last few months. Almost all the regions have seen new records in sales. Southern and Western were among the most impacted regions post-Easter, and they have shown massive recovery in the last 3 months. However, North and East and Central are the two regions standing out in YTD growth and consistent performance this year. So, this recognition is for the two RSMs for their passionate drive and determination in delivering outstanding results despite all the adversities and challenges around. They have delivered about 10% growth YTD over 2018-19, while overall GT only stands at 18-19 level. So this goes out to the two Spark Award winners we've identified, Mohammad Farshad and Priyankara Vanasinghe.
A substantial part of our business growth comes from our new products that we launch. Given the space limitation on the shelf, listing of these new products remain to be one of the most challenging tasks for the MT teams. This individual, with his strong and effective relationship with the channel management, has smartly managed to get 17 new SKUs. Mind you, not one but two, 17 SKUs, including all new SKUs of Diva, Klogard, Shield, listed in a very short time without compromising on the margin negotiations. While Apico has been a stagnant channel with no major outlet expansion, these new products have given about 6% of Apico's sales and helped raising the last 3 months' growth up to 19%. So this Spark Award goes to Indika Gamage.
Growth pace of Kiehl's slowed down drastically post-lockdown, which was a worrying sign for us. But the channel was also very stringent in following their policies and practices that actually did not allow much room for the operators to play. Getting facing space within the category is a key challenge for visibility improvement, but this particular Spark Award winner was able to negotiate several initiatives and campaigns that included an option of visibility enhancement through standardized block stacks. As of September, 383 such block stacks have been put up free of charge. Mind you, free of charge. This visibility drive, together with the campaigns and new listings, brought back a 40% growth in Kiehl's during last 3 months. So this Spark recognition goes out to Mr. Vidura Alahakun.
Satosa has always been a difficult channel to handle for many reasons like frequent changes in the top management, lack of proper systems, processes, automation, payment policies. But our potential growth in this island-wide operated channel is huge provided all the issues and risks are managed effectively. This individual had taken the challenge and delivered some aspirational growth this year by capitalizing on his solid relationship and network with Satosa management, starting from the chairman to all levels. A phenomenal YTD growth of 42% has been achieved while keeping the overdue under control. This Spark Award goes to Chandana Gamage.
The next two Spark Award winners actually seeked out and saw new opportunities and actually went extra miles from their usual work job role. And also they were actively following up at every step, visiting suppliers, even on holidays, as well as to get packaging, etc. done to get new products out. The sanitizers and the hand washers were quickly extended from the core brand Shield. So this Spark Award recognition goes out to Naveed Anjun and Manoshi Kararatne.
It's not an easy task to launch digital. This individual took initiative and led his team to successfully activate new digital launch platforms. His team actively sought out new suppliers, worked directly with them, and significantly to reduce the cost of the launches. This has actually brought down the cost 25% compared to the previous launches that we have done. This Spark Award goes to Sajid Mudalige.
The next Spark Award recognition goes out to a person who is a good example of a quiet person in a support system. So he uses his special talents and actually went out of his way and way beyond his job role to do something for the company. I'm sure almost all of you guys have seen the mascots he made, and mind you, he himself actually went and got the raw materials. So the next Spark Award recognition goes to Nabil Hussain.
It is not an easy task to come up with new ideas. So there was this team who took part in the Ideathon competition, which was organized by the Hemas Holdings, and this team was able to win this competition. For winning the concept of healthy eating and healthy living and emerging as one of the top 3 winners at the Ideathon competition, this award goes out to Isuruni Alakon, Rochelle Pereira, Imeshi Sahabandu, Zuresh Abdin, and Leonard Barnes.
The next Spark Award recognition goes out to a special person who actually went beyond to learn something new. So during the COVID-19 closure of both Sri Lanka and India, it was extremely challenging to get some key documents to prove the business continuity of the West Bengal operation within the time frame stipulated by the Indian authorities. So this particular Spark Award winner took extra effort beyond her duty of finance to learn about these Indian requirements which were unfamiliar to her and ensured that all the mandatory requirements were fulfilled on time. So this Spark Award recognition goes to Archana Fernando.
नहीं होगा यार।
सर आपके लिए उस पार कार का इंतजाम किया है सर। सर आइए सर प्लीज। ये चल चल।
क्या
क्या बात करता है? क्या ऊपर से जाएगा? क्या ऊपर से? जा जा।
गया मेन शो।
I hate this country. कुछ करो ना.
अब मैं वहां जाके क्या उखाड़ लूंगा?
कैसी जाने बूंदे आई, जाने कैसा दर्द लाई, सामने क्या है ये तेरे, क्यों रुका है तू बता रे हो. कौन तुझको पार लेगा, कौन होगा वो मसीहा, जिसे तू ढूंढता है वो ही है तू वही है. तुझ में तेरा रास्ता है, तुझ में तेरा है सहारा, तू ही तुझको पार लेगा, तू ही है तेरा किनारा. रास्ता है, तुझ में तेरा है सहारा, तू ही तुझको पार लेगा, तू ही है तेरा किनारा. जिसे ढूंढता है तू ही रे, तू ही रे, तू ही रे तेरा मसीहा हो.
So that was an amazing example of how the individual contribution plays a major role in getting something big done. You may think that it's impossible, however, when all of us get together, there is nothing that's impossible to do as a team. Lochana?
Yes. So going back to the Spark Award recognitions, so I'm going to talk about 2 Spark Award winners who was a part of the team that won the Ideathon competition. Among the top 3 winners, which was held by the Hemas group for the Ayurveda mixers, that is to develop a Hemas Ayurvedic product range. The team has gone beyond the call of duty and they really worked out a new concept for the Ayurvedic products for Hemas. Now this product is ready to actually take to the next level of execution. So this next Spark Award recognition goes to Kapila Prashanta and Roshan Priyanka.
When the BC colognes had higher demand in the market and the supply was constrained with a cap capacity issue, this individual was able to find a solution by sourcing alternate caps in a very short time, which supported the brand to provide additional stocks for the market in a time that was crucial. So this Spark Award goes to Priyanta Godakanda.
The next Spark Award recognition goes to a particular individual who sourced the DFA at $660 at all-time low by monitoring the market and contracting at the right time, which has given a significant benefit to the bottom line. The next Spark Award recognition goes to Chatura Karunaratna.
This individual negotiated the Kumarika new fragrance which brought in a 20 million saving to the category. Due to this, the lead variant fragrance price was reduced by 59%. This Spark Award goes to Trevin Fernando.
During the peak of COVID countrywide lockdown, there have been 83 numbers in April, 191 numbers in May, 135 numbers in June. All of these were unscheduled orders which were delivered in addition to the scheduled orders. He was able to manage all the issues well, which were arisen from security forces and government authorities when crossing the border of districts. There was an immense support from our transporters. Hemas may be the only company who provided such service to all parts of the country. Same channels of empty direct delivery outlets serviced almost every day. Our lorries were in queues in some empty outlets more than 48 hours to unload goods, as the unloading and accepting speed at those outlets were very slow compared to our speed. So the next Park Recognition Award goes to Sharon Nimalaratna.
When it comes to our products, labeling is one important thing. Labeling line at Valisara was able to operate with so many challenges and supplied labeled containers for the production for filling line without any interruption during the COVID period. So this award goes to Iresh Fernando.
This next Park Award recognition. The next Park Award recognition goes to an individual who took it upon himself in looking after the needs of our employees in manufacturing plant to ensure their safety in all aspects. He created a safety net, bringing assurance to the workforce that all measures were taken in relation to health and safety standard or protocols, and executed a wide array of interventions starting from risk assessment, communication campaigns to create awareness. And he also executed all required standards by ensuring zero non-compliance at the on-site COVID audit. The next Park Award recognition goes to Sanjeevan Isparanathan.
You know, Lochana, it's very important for us to follow the health and safety guidelines during a pandemic. Hand sanitizers is something very important that we need to use. So this individual was instrumental in the production of the hand sanitizer gels during the lockdown. He was the single point in R&D to trial, manufacture and validate the product during this period, sacrificing his own safety with a very positive attitude. So this Spark Award goes to Sankar Mendes.
The next Park Award recognition goes to an individual who put in an extraordinary effort to develop numerous laundry and household care products for both local and international business, especially within the lockdown period. The enthusiasm and passion for innovation was extensively displayed by this individual. The next Park Award recognition goes to Shashika Vijay-Singha.
So our next Spark Award is for an unsung hero who works tirelessly with so many government authorities to make sure our products abide to the country's regulations. She was instrumental to get the SLS certification for the baby Sharmi soap, first to do it in the country. This next Spark Award goes to Tilini Dahanayaka.
It has been a tough 6 months in Maldives after many cases of COVID getting reported, which included many Sri Lankans. I'm sure Shreyan also spoke about this. where lockdowns were imposed and after opening up, stringent controls were actually in place. While many Sri Lankans wanted to get back, he decided to stay back. 2 hours a day was given for deliveries and he made the maximum use of it. He looked at alternate channels like online deliveries to get the sale. Now, in spite of many goods going out of stock, he has made a remarkable comeback on the sales. For the dedication, commitment and rising up during hard times, the next Spark Award goes to Christopher Rajaratnam.
Going beyond the call of duty to ensure lab tests are performed for the products that were produced in Dankotua, although it is completely a new territory for her, to ensure on-time product releases. She dedicated her time to conduct the department activities as no one was able to report to work due to the district barriers during the COVID-19 shutdown despite her personal commitments. This special Spark Award goes to Hasita Aryavansa.
We're never alone. And that is our strength. Because when we're doubted, we'll play as one. When we're held back, we'll go farther and harder. If we're not taken seriously, we'll prove that wrong. And if we don't fit the sport, we'll change the sport. We know things won't always go our way.
And the world's sporting events are postponed or cancelled.
But whatever it is, we'll find a way. And when things aren't fair, we'll come together for change.
We have a responsibility
to make this world a better place. And no matter how bad it gets, we will always come back stronger. Because nothing can stop what we can do together.
So we saw how team efforts are very important in reaching the goals of an organization. Lochana?
Yes. So with that, we conclude the individual Spark Award winners and we're moving into Team Spark Awards. So these winners will be receiving a hamper and the Spark Award. It should also be mentioned that we have identified the core team where there was a much more of an extended team who supported this core team. So everyone is actually being recognized here. So I will move on to the first team that we are going to recognize. The impact of this pandemic impacts every single person on this planet, which is very evident at this time of the day. COVID-19 is unlike any previous crisis, and traditional crisis responses may not be sufficient to stay ahead of the curve. And the BCP team, led by Dinesh Hamangoda, enabled us to establish a central control effort to safeguard our employees, defend revenue declines, stabilize operations, and secure our bottom line. So this is to identify the Spark winners as a team who is much known as the BCP team. So let's recognize these individuals who contributed to the core team of the BCP team. Dinesh Hamangoda, Ramesh Saravana Bhagavan, Amaranath Dambulugala, Nadira Chandrasena, Primal Krishanta, Mahinda Vijayasekara, Prabodha Jaivikrama, Harsha Veeraratna, Derek Anthony, Sumit Dias, Shimza Aziz, Sunerath Pennakon, Ramindu Lianage, Mohammad Shafraz, Shamali Pereira, and Darshana Senaviratna, Naveed Anjun, Danushka Silva, Jude Pereira, and Mohan Ratnayaka, presenting to you the BCP champions.
Hemas Consumer Brands was recently awarded the Sri Lanka National Quality Award 2019 Gold. This is an achievement of great magnitude. The award is the highest quality award given by the Sri Lanka Standard Institute for the company that demonstrates excellence in categories of leadership, strategy, customers, operations, workforce, results for the last 5 years. This accomplishment was possible because of a large team that played a pivotal role in submitting the award application, which entailed many hours of laboring to perfect its content to show case of our practices, ensuring seamless on-site audit that took place in the manufacturing plant, warehouse and head office. So this Spark Award goes to the National Quality Award core team: Nadira Chandrasena, Leonard Burns, Cheryl Rodrigo, Mohan Atanayaka, Lakshika Gunasekara, Azmara Manan, Vidyamali Atanayaka, Rochelle Pereira, Trevin Fernando, Tusit De Silva, Shashika Vijay Singha, Harsha Veeraratna, Randima Gajanayaka, Rajendra Vikramaratna, Mahinda Vijay Sekara, Sanjeevan Isparanathan.
So with that, we conclude the Spark Award recognitions and we move on to special mentions.
So we also have some special mentions apart from the Spark Awards that was awarded. A launch of a product is not an easy task. There is a lot of work involved in any launch, as you may know. We recently concluded the Klogard Natural Salt launch, which was very successful. So this recognition is for the project team of Klogard Natural Salt: Dumindu Bandara, Zuresh Abdeen, Sajit Mudalige, Ramesh Sarvana Bhagavan, Lilani Rajapaksha, and Azmara Manan.
The next special mention goes out to a team who actually caught our attention with getting a male involved in this brand. So everyone knows we're talking about bringing the father's role into our very known brand, Baby Sharami. So Baby Sharami's relaunch with the purpose was led by a special individual, and it's the first ever purpose brand launch in Hemas, where a new brand ambassador, who is especially a male, was involved, where they also managed the stocks very well with very close follow-ups with so much of SKU complications. So this recognition goes to the team BC. Danushka Silva, Sherlene Gunayaganagam, Dulangani Matugama, Roshini, Imalka, Lushan and Chamita. This special mention is for you, Team BC.
Moving on with the special mentions. The automation of the Shield carton machine by introducing an in-house manufactured pick and place unit. As a result, manual feeding was discontinued along with an improvement in quality. This brought a saving of 6.3 million to the business, which was the market price of a pick and place unit. This special mention is for Buddhika Prasanna, Ratnayaka, Sandun Chamika and Isuru Priyankara.
The COVID-19 pandemic presented challenges to our manufacturing plant in Dankotua in an unprecedented manner, with concerns arising from the stakeholders in the village raising their concerns pertaining to their safety. The government authorities continually questioning and monitoring the health and safety protocol are being followed, and most importantly, making arrangements with the divisional secretariats to permit border crossing for our workforce to continue to work with uninterrupted continuity of operations. All these challenges were faced by this team with a can-do attitude and make sure that the manufacturing operation went on seamlessly. This special mention goes out to Mahinda Vijayasekara, Sanjeevan Isparanathan, Lucius Pave.
Give me freedom, give me fire, give me reason, take me higher. See the champions take the field now. Unify us, make us feel proud. In the streets, our heads are lifting as we lose our inhibition. Celebration, it surrounds us. Every nation, all around us, singing forever young, singing songs underneath the sun. Let's rejoice in the beautiful game, and together at the end of the day, we all say, when I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag. I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag. So wave your flag, now wave your flag, now wave your flag. Oh, 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 oh. Give you freedom, give you fire, give you reason, take you higher. See the champions take the field now. Unify us, make us feel proud. In the streets, our heads are lifting as we lose our inhibition. Celebration, it surrounds us. Every nation, all around us, singing forever young, singing songs underneath the sun. Let's rejoice in the beautiful game, and together at the end of the day, we all say, when I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag. I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag. So wave your flag, now 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 wave your flag, wave your flag. Oh, 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 we all say, when I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag. I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag. So wave your flag, now 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 wave your flag, wave your flag. Oh, 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 oh. And everybody will be singing, yeah. And we all will be singing, yeah.
So we have reached the end of the awards, and as-
Today's program.
yes, and as you saw, We have done some amazing things, individual efforts, team efforts, and all of this together. As a company, we have done some amazing things in the past 6 months. So we hope that the next 6 months and also the years to come, we'll also see some very good efforts, as Shreyan also mentioned, and we hope that you will have the Hemas FMCG flag fly high in the air.
Also, don't forget, given the current situations, wear your mask, use sanitizer,
Definitely.
keep 1 meter distance, we had to. And also, take care of yourselves. Stay safe, stay home.
Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you very much.